you can win the game. You could win. You can catch the snitch. That doesn't necessarily.
That compliment was not on my bingo card for today. But wow, that would hit nice.
Welcome back, witches, wizards, and muggles to Squib's Corner. I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Andrew, and just wanted to stop for a second and thank all of you for tuning in, listening to the podcast. We've been doing this for
a year,
a little over a year and a half now. I think since we started talks.
Marked a year since we started posting live.
Yeah. So been doing this, and we slowly get more and more people watching on our YouTube channel, Squib's Corner, listening on podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We're getting more comments on videos and podcasts, so it's really neat to see the engagement. So if you're enjoying the content that we're putting out, number one, leave us feedback.
Yes.
We'd love to know if you guys have any ideas for us, because we're having fun, and you might not have guessed this, but we're not professional podcasters. So, we both just have a love and a passion for Harry Potter and the wizarding world. And if you're listening, if you're watching, we know you do too. So like, comment, subscribe, share to all of your Potter friends. You have no idea how much it means to us, because we would do this if no one was listening.
Yeah,
but the fact that we get to share it is awesome. So we want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks for being a part of the journey.
Yeah, we're definitely hoping after, it's going to take a total of 4 years to get through the books, but then we got the HBO series to do. We're hoping by the end it's all said and done. We got, a fair amount of listeners. So.
Oh, yeah.
The more you can share it, the better.
Yeah. So thank you, and let's keep going on this journey. So today we're going to be jumping into Chapter 15, the Quidditch Final of Book 3, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. But before we go forward, let's go backwards a little bit to one of the most erratic chapters that we've got in Year 3, Snape's Grudge. It starts off a little bit with what's going on with Buckbeak, Hagrid, and Hermione, and all that jazz. Then Harry's going to sneak out to Hogsmeade, goes to Hogsmeade, but Neville wants him to help him with his report, and Snape found him hiding, and not hiding, but, meeting, and the third floor, peculiar, all this stuff. So anyway, so Harry still sneaks off to Hogsmeade. You shouldn't be here. Harry sneaks off to Hogsmeade with the invisibility cloak, with the Marauder's map, and he goes, and instead of being inconspicuous, keeping a low profile, he decides to start throwing mud at Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle. And in so doing, his head slips out from underneath the invisibility cloak, and Draco Malfoy sees him.
Of
course. So Draco runs back to the castle. Harry runs back to the castle, but Harry's got to go through Honeydukes, then through a passageway, then he's got to go all the way up to the third floor to the statue of the One-Eyed Witch. And he gets out without the invisibility cloak and without the use of the Marauder's map, which are two very valuable tools. Snape's there waiting, goes, interrogates him, and we find out Snape's grudge is really with Harry's father, and now by proxy, Harry. So he tries to use the Marauder's map, can't, calls Lupin over. Lupin kind of gets Harry out of a sticky situation. And then as they're leaving, Lupin kind of says, look, your parents died for you, Harry.
Yeah, but both Lupin and Snape kind of brought him back down.
Yeah, parents died for you. So to treat their sacrifice like you did for a bag of jokes, bag of magic tricks. And so kind of humbles him. And then at the very end, Hermione comes up to him and a little teary-eyed, she gets a letter from Hagrid.
Yeah.
So that was it. And now we move forward to our 7-word summary.
What you got for us, Andrew?
You know what? I'm keeping this one super simple.
All right.
You did it, Oliver. You did it.
Yeah.
You did it, Oliver. You did it.
Yeah, he was very emotional. Yeah, that's a good one. I went a different route.
Okay.
Hermione punches Draco, but KOs herself instead.
Sure.
It's a very. I think it's a good Hermione chapter.
It is a good Hermione chapter.
Yeah.
We see different shades of Hermione.
Yeah,
It's good development for her.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got 7 chapter notables.
I only see 6.
That's because you are a loser. And I forgot to put the 7th one on the list, but it is in.
I just thought you couldn't come up with 7.
No, the 7th one is easy, right? Okay, so number 1, she chose violence.
Yeah.
Somebody's 7-word summary. Number 2, where'd she go? Number 3, prophecy fulfilled. Number 4, hostilities unmatched. Number 5, Crookshanks and the Grim. Oh. Number 6, Firebolt inconsistencies. Number 7, Sweet, Sweet Victory.
Okay, yeah. Super easy.
Yeah. So, first paragraph of chapter 15. This is Hermione speaking, okay? He sent me this, Hermione said, holding out the letter. Harry took it. The parchment was damp, and enormous teardrops had smudged the ink so badly in places that it was very difficult to read. Dear Hermione, we lost. I'm allowed to bring him back to Hogwarts. Execution date to be fixed. Beaky has enjoyed London. I won't forget all the help you gave us, Hagrid.
That's a good reading.
I felt pretty good about it. I channeled my inner Robbie. I felt like I could get there.
That's a good one. That's a little bit better than Jim's. Jim didn't read it like that.
Look, no, don't. I don't.
I said it. It's been
wow.
said. We're moving on.
That compliment was not on my bingo card for today. But wow, that one hit nice. Jim Dale is a legend.
So this obviously shakes Harry out of everything that happened that day. Buckbeak isn't dangerous, and everyone knows it. Malfoy's dad frightened the committee into it, which didn't sound any different than how I was just reading it. Oh, it's Hermione. Okay.
We are our own worst critic.
We are. Yeah, I give you a good compliment, and I got to go screw everything up.
No, you're doing great, buddy. I wouldn't say it's Jim Dale worthy, but you're doing great.
Malfoy's dad frightened the committee into it, said Hermione, wiping her eyes. You know what he's like. They're a bunch of dodgy old fools, and they were scared. There'll be an appeal, though. There always is. Only I can't see any hope. Nothing will have changed.
Yeah, it will,
said Ron fiercely.
You won't have to do all the work alone this time, Hermione. I'll help.
Oh, Ron! Hermione flung her arms around Ron's neck and broke down completely. And I find it... There's no Harry here.
He's there.
I mean, he's there, but he's not
there.
Like, yeah, I'll help too.
This is a Hermione and Ron scene. They're the ones, they were the ones that were truly apart. Now to see them.
Yeah, well, in this chapter, Ron he kind of takes it into his own hands too. So
yeah. He's got to.
Yeah,
it's got to.
Well, Harry's got the Quidditch Final, so yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
So all the feels as Ron and Hermione embraced. Hermione apologized for Scabbers, which is, man, sometimes it's just the apology that counts. It's not necessarily like you just want them to say it, whether they mean it or not. And you make a big deal of it, and you're like, sorry, I didn't. Oh, no problem. You're just happy they apologized.
Well, this is such a great example of life, right? Hermione and Ron were both being hard-headed.
Yeah.
They were both being hard-headed. The evidence, as Harry said, points to Scabbers being attacked, being eaten by Crookshanks.
Yeah.
So, but then you have perspective. You've seen those families where, siblings aren't talking. They've had a falling out 3 years ago. Oh, now mom's gotten sick and she's in the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, what are we fighting for? So now you throw Buckbeak, Hagrid's, poor Hagrid, and now Buckbeak. So Ron and Hermione are like, we're fighting over a cat that ate a mouse.
That Ron was always talking crap about. Always.
Always. And that's what he says next, right?
Yeah.
He was old.
Yeah. So Ron told her not to worry about it. He also admits that Scabbers was old and useless and that he was hopeful his parents might buy him an owl. With the increased security
Dead useful and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, carry your mail.
You can throw him out the window during a storm.
Yeah, that's true.
Throw a rat out the window during a storm, you're going to lose the rat.
No good.
No. So with the increased security measures around the school due to Sirius Black's most recent encounter, it was hard for the three of them to sneak out to Hagrid's to help him with the Buckbeak's appeal.
Yeah, so they had to wait until, obviously, just getting out to the grounds. There's always a professor escort now. So care of magical creatures, herbology, flying, Quidditch, all that stuff. So they just couldn't go down there to help Hagrid with the appeal.
Learn in the past, and we will learn in the future. Whether they're supposed to go there or not, they just go.
When has that ever stopped them?
My favorite scene is with Harry and Professor...
Please say Slughorn.
Slughorn, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Right in front of the door.
Cinematically,
it's the best scene.
That's one of the best. That's such a great scene. Yeah.
Every time I see it, I'm like, ah!
I think it's the pincers.
Kind of freaked me out.
Yeah. So they're finally allowed to talk to Hagrid, or able to talk to Hagrid at their next Care of Magical Creatures lesson. And Hagrid, he's like, look, it was my fault. I kept tripping over my words. And then Lucius Malfoy gets up and he speaks so eloquently, and anything he said, they're like, yeah, great. So, Hagrid's like, I knew I didn't stand a chance. But Ron, like you said, Ron was more determined than ever to help out with the appeal. But Hagrid had no hope.
It almost sounded like Hagrid turned down their offer to help him with the appeal.
Yeah, well, I think if you think something is just so far-fetched that there's no possible way, it's like, don't.
I mean, what are you going to do, an appeal and then go back and Lucius is there again?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to work.
Yeah, so Hagrid's walking them up to the castle, and they're talking about this. Hagrid turns to go back down to his hut, his cabin, his cottage, and he's crying. And then Malfoy starts to run his mouth. Look at him blubber. Have you ever seen anything quite as pathetic? And he's supposed to be our teacher. Chapter notable number 1. The book says, Harry and Ron both made furious moves toward Malfoy, but Hermione got there first. Smack!
Love it. I just love it. And it's so much different from the movie sequence when I go back and reading this and hearing it. And I'm like, oh, this is different. And then they go to class afterward.
And then they got to go to class.
Yeah, that didn't happen in the movie. So
yeah.
Yeah, but Hermione finally, I mean, it's been a culmination up to this point with her, with all the classes and
I think
being tired.
Everything. She is.
Well, when you're tired, don't mess with anybody when they're tired.
Yeah.
Either they're tired and loopy and it's fun to mess with them, or they're tired and they're angry.
And they're angry, and then you just stay away.
There is no in between.
Yeah.
So the official stance here at Squib's Corner is that we do not condone violence.
Do not condone violence, no.
That being said, we do 100% support Hermione. So
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah, do
Yes.
with that information what you will.
We just wanted to make ourselves perfectly clear.
Yeah.
We do not condone violence. Super stoked that she smacked Malfoy.
Well, and then she tried to smack him again, but Ron, he had to go up and physically hold Hermione back. Mm-hmm. And she pushed him off and pulled out her wand. All right, I can't smack him, then I'll pull out my wand.
Yeah. Luck. So proud of her for not casting a spell. So proud of her for not casting a spell.
Draco's reaction, too. I mean, he knows Hermione's smart. He's not completely stupid, so...
Yeah.
And she knows more spells than any of them probably know.
Agreed.
Which is quite interesting, because she doesn't do a lot... She doesn't do as many spells as you would expect her to do.
Well, you know what I love about somebody, somebody... I was having this conversation, I remember several years ago, and somebody mentioned that same thing. And I said, you know who else? Dumbledore. Dumbledore will use his mind. He'll use his common sense. He'll use his deductive reasoning. And then, if need be, he'll do magic.
Yeah, it's not until the famous scene with him and Voldemort.
Yeah, so it's...
The most powerful spell in Harry Potter. Yeah!
It's the wand movement is really difficult with that.
That's so great. But as soon as she pulled out her wand, Malfoy just ran away.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Good idea. I mean, especially after you just got punched. She's probably going to do something with that wand.
Movie punch, book slap. I don't know which one's more embarrassing.
Probably book slap. The movie punch looked bad because he was like right in front of a rock, right? A boulder.
Yeah, like a wall or something.
Yeah, that was like ow. But
yeah.
A slap. I think a slap would do a little bit more to your pride than a punch would.
I think yeah. Like I don't want to get the old open hand smack.
Yeah,
hurtful.
Hurts less, but. She then goes to Harry. Harry, you better beat him in the Quidditch Final. You just better had, because I can't stand it if Slytherin wins. Then they headed off to Charms, and Professor Flitwick called out Ron and Harry for being late, which he didn't. Okay. He just said, hurry up. This is what we're doing. They turned around to look at Hermione, but chapter notable number 2, she wasn't with them. And... they didn't have much time to be confused because they were working on... a pop quiz for Jeremiah to get wrong.
What were they working on in Charms that day, Jeremiah?
Man, I listened to the chapter twice, too.
I'm proud of you. Because I can tell you this right now. In Snape's Grudge, Flitwick was showing the doors a picture of Sirius Black so that they could recognize him. I'll never forget that. Because that was my pop quiz that I got wrong last episode.
Yeah, I got nothing. I don't remember.
What charm were they working on? I just want to let you know there are 5 pop quizzes in this episode for you because I enjoy the pop quizzes, and I thought to myself, why am I not putting more pop quizzes in here?
Right, yeah.
And I think it's also fun for the listeners too.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh
Jeremiah's he's gonna get another one wrong.
Jeremiah. The answer we're looking for is cheering charms.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember him saying that and going, really? You could do a charm to cheer somebody up? Is that what he was talking about? Like, that seems like a very... Yeah. Hagrid could use that charm right about now.
Hagrid needs it. Yep, Hagrid needs it.
And the whole, a lot of people... I mean, there's a Quidditch going on right now. That'd be very useful right now.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, they had no clue where she went. And what's more concerning is she didn't turn up all class. And that's not Hermione, of course.
That would be super. Because I think they were talking. They're like, well, maybe she went to the bathroom.
For the whole class.
Yeah. So then, after class, they go to the Great Hall for lunch. Hermione doesn't show up for lunch either. And now their cheering charms are wearing off. Now that the cheering charms are wearing off, now they're like, okay, something's happening with Hermione.
You weren't kidding. You weren't kidding.
Jeremiah, they go back up to the common room.
Uh-huh.
What was the password to get into the common room?
I had my answer locked and loaded. Hermione was sleeping. I don't remember hearing the
This
password.
is a tough one.
Yeah,
this is like, we've got a couple easy ones, and then this one's hard.
I'm going to say it's Flibberty Gibbets.
It was Flibberty Gibbet
Really?
on this one. Yeah, that was that
Okay,
was this
cool.
one. That was this one.
That was a complete guess.
That's okay. So now it's a 2-part quiz, right? I got another follow-up. Yeah, no. Every time. So they get into the common room and they see Hermione asleep. What did she fall asleep on?
I would assume she fell asleep on her books.
What book?
I want to say arithmancy, but
It was arithmancy. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So right now, you are 2 for 3, my friend.
That's not bad. Not bad.
You're 2 for 3. You're not passing yet. You're at 66%.
Hey, not bad for some guesses.
Yeah, not bad for
Especially
some guesses.
Flibberty Gibbets. I pulled that out.
Yes. Yes. So they wake Hermione up. She's mortified. Obviously, Hermione is mortified that she's missed charms, and they question her. Like, what's the deal? Why, you were walking right beside us, and she doesn't really answer the question, right?
She's just like, I forgot to go to Professor Flitwick's class.
Yeah, it's like, what? How are you not there? So then she's like, okay, I got to go apologize to him. Cheering charms. I bet that's going to be exam. He mentioned that. That's going to be on our exam. So she goes, and she apologizes to Flitwick. Cool. So they're like, sweet. We've got divination in 20 minutes. So 20 minutes later, Harry and Ron, they meet up with Hermione at the base of the ladder that you have to climb up to get into the divination classroom. So they climb up, they get into the classroom, and they see crystal balls on the table, which, according to Hermione, they weren't supposed to start crystal balls until a little bit later in the year after the Easter holidays. But the boys were pretty happy because if they're doing crystal balls, now they don't have to worry about palmistry, which I hate we didn't get any, like we did tea leaves. We got tea leaves in divination, but we didn't get any fun or entertaining palmistry episodes.
I like that Hermione's like what happened to the class structure? Why are we going out of order? I don't like it. I'm like that too.
Yeah, she would be the one in university to be like, I've got the syllabus right here, and it says.
Well, I go to work with a game plan of what I'm going to do for that day, and if somebody tells me to do something different, my whole day is ruined because I'm like, no, I already knew what I was doing. Why am I doing something different?
How dare you? Yeah.
I hate it. But yeah, this is a really heavy Hermione chapter. Like I didn't realize.
It's good.
Yeah. It could have almost been 2 chapters, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So, Professor Trelawney makes her way into the room and states that I have decided to introduce the crystal
I just want everyone to know that I gave Hermione all of the Trelawney quotes so that we can listen to him do her voice.
You call me Hermione.
Oh, we get, you know what? You're so smart.
It's okay.
Smart. We gave Jeremiah all of the Trelawney quotes so that we can hear him do her voice.
That's all right. I have decided to introduce the crystal ball a little earlier than I had planned. The fates have informed me that your examination in June will concern the orb, and I am anxious to give you sufficient practice. Hermione is quick to point out that Professor Trelawney is the one who makes the exams.
Yeah. Well, and they only have at the beginning of the class, she's like, okay, this part of the year we're going to do tea leaves. This part of the year, palmistry. This part of the year, crystal balls.
Yeah.
So there's really only 3 main things in her subject matter. So you've got to assume, yeah, crystal balls are going to be on the exam. Sure.
What does Hermione say? Like, you're the teacher. Oh man, she said something real funny. I don't remember.
I got you.
Should have popped.
I got you. Whoa. I would have made something very convincing up that you would have been like,
that sounds right.
That's what she said. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that's, hold on. Yeah. Well, honestly, the fates have informed her. Who sets the exam? She does. What an amazing prediction. So good.
What an amazing thing you predicted yourself doing.
I could just imagine J.K. Rowling writing these scenes, just having fun.
Yeah,
like,
you have to. I mean, come on.
What an amazing prediction.
So apparently seeing anything in a crystal ball is difficult, and Trelawney doesn't expect anyone to see anything, which, sure. way to introduce the... We're going to do crystal balls. I don't expect anything to happen, though.
Well, and it's kind of cool because we see that in every class there are easy things to do.
Yeah.
And then there are more difficult things to do. Potions for sure. Right? Ever since we did the Polyjuice potion, defense against the dark arts, the Patronus, super difficult. So crystal balls.
I wonder if this class is like a requirement, because it doesn't make any sense for Hermione to be taking this class.
No, but I think Hermione is like, if I can't take it, I'm going to take it.
But this one, like, maybe she only took it because Harry and Ron were taking it. Like, man, that's a reach for her.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's a reach.
Yeah,
I
could see that.
But we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. So Hermione is absolutely hating this waste of time, which is what I'm thinking she's thinking every time she goes to this class.
Every time.
Trelawney made her way down to the crystal ball on Harry, Ron, and Hermione's table. She gazed into the ball and saw the Grim. Oh, my dear. I see the Grim. Hermione just lost it.
For goodness sake. Not that ridiculous Grim again.
I'm sorry to say that from the moment you have arrived in my class, my dear, it has been apparent that you do not have what the noble art of divination requires. Indeed, I don't remember ever meeting a student whose mind was so hopelessly mundane.
Hermione is like, fine.
Yes.
Fine. She packs her stuff up and she left.
Yeah.
And she never came back to divination again, which, as Lavender Brown
Harry
points
and Ron
out,
are in there like, oh crap! Now we got to do this.
Now we got to do our own homework, right? Now we're on our own.
I'm even curious. Was Hermione even doing any of the work, or was she just every class just? Well, this is stupid. This stuff doesn't.
I don't know. She did her homework just to keep her grades up.
Yeah, true.
And I'm sure she did, even though she probably hated it, she was still going to do everything to, keep her grades up. But Hermione leaving, Lavender Brown points out, chapter notable number 3, one of the predictions that Professor Trelawney made at the start of term, around Easter. Oh, I guess that did give me one of the quotes. Around Easter, one of our number will leave us forever. And Hermione is gone. The prediction was fulfilled.
And she played it off again, like she tried to act like, I didn't want to talk about it, and hopefully I was wrong, that kind of stuff that she always does.
Yeah, so Hermione leaves. There's a little bit of a kerfuffle. Everybody's kind of like, what did we just watch? Like, I'm sure other people were like, I didn't know that we could do that. Are we allowed to just walk out of classes? Like, I should be doing this more.
And I can just picture Trelawney from the movie just staring like in the direction of the
Yes.
big old eyes. And
Yes.
everything.
Yeah, so everything settles down. Excuse me. Everything settles down. Harry gazes into the crystal ball to see if he could see the Grim. And all he saw was swirling mist. And he's thinking to himself, like, had Professor Trelawney really seen the Grim? Or is this just something that she's making up because she loves just to play up divination? Yeah, the theatrics of divination. And so Harry himself has seen what he believes to be the Grim on multiple occasions. So he does kind of take this seriously, right?
Well, and I love this little next bit, like to only be worried about this, that's your number one worry.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice to be worried about this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think the Grim is a death omen, and everybody in the wizarding world believes that Sirius Black escaped prison to kill Harry. So and he's seen the Grim himself. So, I could see how he's a little worried about it. Obviously, with the Quidditch finals coming up, he doesn't want there to be an incident. He's
rightfully
ready to
so.
get out there.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. So apparently, for third years, the Easter holidays have come, and they're like, great little vacation. Nope. They have plenty, because remember, end of term is June. Easter, depending on, we could have looked. This would have been the year 1993, 94. We could have seen if Easter was in April or May. We're just a couple months away from finals. They're OWLs, which I'm sure you remember what that means, Jeremiah. OWLs.
Should somebody play?
Just go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Impromptu pop quiz.
Yeah.
Impromptu pop quiz.
Outstanding wizarding level.
No.
Outstanding wizarding.
No.
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 Ordinary wizarding levels.
Ordinary wizarding levels. We're gonna give it to them. So they're less than a couple months away from their OWL. So all of the third years have a ton of homework for exam prep. So the Easter holidays weren't relaxing at all. The third years had so much homework, preparation for their exams, and nobody was working harder than Hermione, right? No one is working. She's got 12, now 11 exams.
Yeah, so good thing she lightened her workload.
Yeah,
huh?
11.
Seamus, didn't he shout out like, hey, the exams are months away. What are they playing at?
Yeah.
I like how they say, what are they playing at?
Yeah. So she's the first one up. She's the last one to sleep. And they're just as busy as can be.
So with Hermione busy studying and Harry fitting in study around Quidditch practice, which I got to think that there's more Quidditch going on than studying for Harry.
Then we're reading, right? I think there's more Quidditch going on than we're even reading about.
Oh, yeah. Ron had now taken over, preparing for Buckbeak's appeal. So he had taken this upon himself. He probably didn't even ask Harry, knowing how much Harry's got going on. And Ron, anything to get away from studying.
That I kind of had that thought. He'd much rather prepare. Yeah.
He, what did the book say? He's forgetting to be mean to Crookshanks. So pretty sure Crookshanks is just kind of hanging around him. He's absentmindedly petting him.
Yeah.
That was a good little touch to put in there. So as he's poring over the books detailing previous hippogriffs and justices, the Quidditch final was about to take place after the Easter holidays, and everyone was gearing up to see Gryffindor versus Slytherin. And I think we've briefly talked about this before. So Slytherin has a 200-point lead on Gryffindor, which means that they need to win by more than that in order to win the cup.
the last time that Gryffindor won the House Cup, who was their seeker?
Charlie Weasley.
Yes.
Apparently he was like one of the best Quidditch players.
Yeah.
Because they said the famous Charlie Weasley.
Yeah. You're 4 for 5.
I'm doing pretty good.
You're passing right now.
So we have briefly talked about this before. You can win the game. You could win. You can catch the snitch. That doesn't necessarily mean you won.
Right. The snitch is just the most valuable way to get points.
Yeah.
But if you're down by 300 points, it ends the game. So if you catch the snitch and you're down 300 points,
you just screwed up, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron, you done messed up.
So even the tension between Harry and Malfoy was at an all-time high. Harry was mad at Malfoy for what he was doing to Buckbeak, and Malfoy is upset at Harry for getting away with sneaking into Hogsmeade and not getting punished for it. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't get.
He got away scot-free.
Snape just let that drop, didn't he? Huh?
He sure did.
That's interesting. So this next part, speaking of interesting, chapter notable number 4. So never in anyone's memory had a match approached in such a highly charged atmosphere. By the time the holidays were over, tensions between the two teams and their houses were at a breaking point. A number of small scuffles broke out in the corridors, culminating in a nasty incident in which Gryffindor 4th year and a Slytherin 6th year ended up in the hospital wing with leaks spouting out of their ears. Harry was having a particularly bad time of it. He couldn't walk to class without Slytherins sticking out their legs and trying to trip him up. So Crabbe and Goyle kept popping up wherever he went and slouching and looking away disappointed because they saw him surrounded by people, because Wood had given instructions that Harry should be accompanied everywhere in case the Slytherins tried to put him out of action, which, yeah, I agree.
Wood knows.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And the whole of the Gryffindor house took up the challenge enthusiastically, but it made it impossible for Harry to get to classes on time because he was surrounded by a vast chattering crowd, and I was surprised he didn't mention anything about Snape here. Being late to Snape's class
Sure
would have caused a huge issue. But Harry was more concerned for his firebolt's safety than his own, which he wasn't flying it. He locked it securely in his trunk and frequently dashed back up to the Gryffindor tower at break time to check and see that it was still there. Now, this is all quoted directly from the book, right?
Yeah, that whole thing. Like, there was no way to pair. Like, that needed to be.
My only issue with him locking his broom in his case was what we already found out that can easily get broken into, unless he didn't lock it that other time.
All right, I guess he didn't lock it the other time. Yeah,
but wouldn't you like? I'm sure McGonagall would be up to like. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Or she might be how ridiculous. Nobody's going to take your firebolt, Potter.
She knows. She would have been like, lock it in my class. I'll give you the key to my office. Make sure that firebolt. Yeah.
Would have been a little bit more because we already know that common room is not.
Yeah,
not
but I get it.
Anyway.
I get it. Tensions are high.
Yeah.
Harry. Yeah.
It all made sense. It all makes sense.
It all makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, so now we get to the night before the match, and no one in the Gryffindor common room is focusing on anything. Even Hermione closed her books. She couldn't concentrate. Everyone was focused on the Quidditch final.
Yeah, and that's a big thing for Hermione because
it's a huge thing.
she probably had an internal struggle. So it was great that J.K. Rowling just put that little bit in there because
Yeah.
Hermione, she doesn't want to close her book, but at the same time she's probably thinking, well, it's just one more match. I can go watch it.
Hermione's really spiraling in this chapter. She's getting into fights. She's dropping out of classes. She's abandoning her studies. I mean, we're really losing Hermione this chapter. We've even recognized you, young lady.
I would assume anybody listening to this has gone to school in some aspect. And you cannot, when it comes to school, you cannot just go, 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 go.
All true.
You do start spiraling down, and you will fail everything that you do. Doesn't matter how much you study.
Yep.
You have to stop at some point. So the fact that she's stopping, it's actually good for her. I mean, she's already cracked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's ready. Yeah. Yeah. For the Quidditch Final, she can set the books aside. Yeah. Everyone's kind of doing their things to get their energy out, right? The twins, they're being as boisterous as they've ever been, telling jokes, goofing off. Wood, he's crouched in a corner over a model of a Quidditch field, and it says he's moving the players around, going over strategy one last time. Angelina, Alicia, Katie, they're just laughing at what the twins are doing. And
I would love to hang out with them.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine being in this common room when this is going on?
That'd be great.
Absolutely. And Harry is doing everything he can just to not think about the match. And so when Oliver Wood stands up and says, "All right, we're done. Everyone to bed," Harry was relieved. Let's go to bed. So they go up. Harry somehow is able to fall asleep, and he's kind of having a series of some bad Quidditch dreams. One where he just misses the Quidditch match entirely. Another one where, he shows up late. And
I had to have Neville play Seeker.
Yeah, Neville. I had a dream where Neville played Seeker, and another where the Slytherin team, they're playing on dragons. So.
Especially with Neville, you got to think Neville doesn't know how to play Quidditch.
We've seen Neville on a broom once.
Yeah.
And he ended up in the hospital wing, right? It was not good. So Harry kind of wakes up from these bad dreams. He's like, "Oh man, it's still pretty dark outside." He's like, "I got to get some water." So goes and gets some water, and in the bedrooms they have pitchers of water. So he pours himself a glass, or they call it a goblet, but pours himself a glass of water, and he's looking out the window, and he sees that the tops of the trees aren't moving. Everything seemed calm. It's early morning. He's like, "Oh, this is going to be a great day. This is going to be great conditions for Quidditch." And so he drinks his water, puts it down, and he's about to hop into bed, and he sees something out of the window. It catches his eye. So he went and grabbed his glasses real quick, looked out the window again, and chapter notable number 5, he sees Crookshanks skirting the edge of the forest, walking alongside a gigantic, shaggy black dog, moving stealthily across the lawn. And he thinks to himself, "Is that the Grim? That's the big big shaggy black dog. That's the Grim that I've seen." But then he's like, "Well, wait. If Crookshanks can see the dog, then could it really be the Grim?" I mean, we never really truly learn if the omen is something that you tangibly see, right? Or if it's something that you envision.
Like a figment of your imagination.
Yeah, we don't know. So but he sees it. And then he wakes up Ron, and it's like, "Ron, come look at this." And Ron,
it's still dark.
And it's still dark. But what's interesting is, and I had forgotten this part, because when it says it's on, skirting the forest, sometimes, because when you watch a movie and the way they have it set up, like the Forbidden Forest is so far away from the castle.
Yeah.
And in the book, there are scenes where the Forbidden Forest isn't too far from the castle at all. He's looking down, he sees the Whomping Willow.
Well, the Whomping Willow's not in the forest.
Isn't in the forest, right? It isn't, but it's on the way to the forest. And so
Yeah, there's inconsistencies with the placement of the Whomping Willow.
Yeah, which, isn't a big deal. But so when he's watching Crookshanks and the Grim, the big black shaggy dog, they're coming towards the castle. Like, he gets up and is trying to look down because they're getting closer to the castle until he can't see them any longer.
Yeah, I've always kind of thought the Whomping Willow sounded like it was more closer to the castle than it was out towards the forest.
I could imagine, yeah.
I mean, that's what I've always thought, but...
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a lot bigger. No, then how would he even see them big or not? Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Copyright. So, when Harry and the rest of the Gryffindor Quidditch team got to the Great Hall in the morning, they were met by thunderous applause as they walked in. Even Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff were cheering them. And yeah, you see it right here. Malfoy was looking very pale that morning because he sucks.
And he's never beaten Harry.
He hasn't.
He's never beaten Harry.
And actually, he kind of... I don't know if you noticed this, but he had the same game plan that Cho had. Tail Harry. That's what
he sure
Malfoy
did.
was doing.
Yep.
Yeah,
he sure did.
I was wondering if you noticed that. When they were all done with breakfast, Wood had them all leave, and Cho wished Harry good luck. Something that Harry appreciated very much.
Yeah.
And Wood took the team out to the pitch and began his battle plan, which... I was curious why Slytherin didn't come out to do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I think when we get into the match, we think Slytherin already knew their battle plan. Like, I think they had already decided. Doesn't matter what they're going to do.
Predictable, I guess, if you're their opponent.
Yeah.
But yeah, once the students were making their way to the field, Wood had them all go into the locker room. Lee Jordan, as always, was commentating the match, and that's always good.
That's always good.
Wood and Flint shook hands. Madam Hooch blew her whistle, and the match begun. 14 students on 14 brooms kicked off on the ground. And here we go.
And it begins. I love Lee Jordan's comment, about Gryffindor, and then he's like, oh, well, Slytherin looks like they went for size over talent. Yeah. And then Harry looks at them and they're like, oh yeah. Like, these guys are freaking brutes. Malfoy's the tiniest player there, but all the other flyers, they're huge. So
hey, could you I'll ask that later if I remember.
Ask it later.
Yeah.
Okay, ask it later. So the match starts and the tensions were high. You could just imagine the pre-game nerves, the pre-game jitters.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as Harry's in the air, he was in his element.
Natural.
Right? Yeah, he was in his element. And Gryffindor scored first, which, remember, they're down 200 points. So in order to win this thing, they've got to score 210 points. So
60 points ahead.
60 points ahead, yeah. Gryffindor scored first, closely followed by a foul on Angelina by the Slytherin captain, Marcus Flint. So what's the logical thing to do if Flint fouls Angelina? Well, if you're Fred Weasley, the logical thing to do is to throw your beater's bat at him so hard that it hits him in the back of the head, forcing him forward, and he hits his nose on his broomstick. And now he is bleeding out of his nose, presumably his broken nose.
Yeah.
So Madam Hooch, whistle blows, penalty for Gryffindor, penalty for Slytherin. Gryffindor makes theirs. Slytherin did not. So now Gryffindor's up 2 scores, 20-0. Harry, back looking for the snitch, but he had to keep listening to Lee Jordan while he was looking for the snitch because he needed to know when Gryffindor were 60 points ahead.
That's smart, and I'm glad that she had mentioned that. Because
yes, that's part of.
Would have been a lot of questioning. How did Harry?
Well, and it adds another layer of like what has to go right for this to work, right?
And it's crazy too because Well, you've played sports, and I used to do wrestling, and in a square ring,
Yeah.
you could be as nervous as you can be, but once it's time to go, the bell rings or whatever, like
Yeah.
you don't hear anything else. So the fact that
Yeah.
Harry
Oh, yeah.
could actually hear what's going
He's
on
ready.
around him,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, so the match continues. It keeps going. Another Slytherin foul, another penalty shot. Gryffindor's now up 30-0. Harry sees the snitch, but he goes in the opposite direction in order to pull Malfoy away. Like you were saying earlier,
Yes.
Malfoy tails Harry just like Cho did.
Quite literally.
But while Harry pulls Malfoy in the opposite direction of the snitch, both of the Slytherin beaters decide to play a little shady business. What are the names of the Slytherin beaters in this chapter?
Oh man, I think that's what I'm gonna lose.
No, you got this. You got this.
The only names that pop into my head are Crab and Goyle. I know they ain't up there. So
They are not on this team. No, they are not on this team.
beaters. Yeah, I don't got this one. I don't have this
Derek and Bull.
one. I would have never guessed.
Derek and Bull. Yeah, Derek and Bull. They were flying at Harry like they were going to mess him up. But remember, Harry's on a firebolt, fastest broom ever created. So they get close to him. He shoots up, gets out of the way, and they collide with each other.
That's great.
Now, which is amazing. We love it. But while this is happening, there's a little back and forth from the teams, and then Slytherin scores. So it's now 30-10. Gryffindor's only up by 2 scores, and the game continues.
Yeah, so this was turning into the dirtiest game that Harry had ever seen. Due to the Gryffindor's lead, the Slytherins were resorting to foul play, which that checks out.
Yep.
The Weasleys were more than happy to give it back to them. That also checks out.
Also checks out.
Another penalty, Gryffindor up 4-10. Harry had lost the snitch, but it didn't matter yet. They needed more of a lead. Katie scored 50-10, which promptly led the Slytherin beaters to attack Oliver Wood, which prompted yet another Gryffindor penalty, 60-10. One more score and Harry was free to get the snitch. Then Slytherin got sloppy and lost the quaffle. Angelina grabbed it and scored again, 70-10. Yeah, the crowd was going crazy. Harry was looking everywhere for the snitch. Malfoy tailing him. Then he saw it. He accelerated towards the snitch. But chapter notable number 6, that firebolt was slowing down. Draco had a hold of the firebolt's tail and was holding it back. Which... Okay, you got some thoughts.
Well, number one, I have 2 thoughts, right? Gryffindor came into this match knowing that they needed to catch the snitch after they were 60 points ahead. Right? Yeah. So the Slytherin tactic should have been Malfoy, catch the snitch as soon as you can.
Well, Malfoy, he sucks.
So why? Yeah. So number one, why was Malfoy tailing Harry?
He knows
Malfoy.
He knows Harry's better, and once he sees Harry dart off, he's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, but if Harry's darting off, he knows Harry's on a firebolt.
Yeah, true.
Right? So tailing him is a dumb idea. So that Malfoy should have been looking for that snitch immediately. Their goal should have been to win 150-0.
Yeah.
Anyway, the firebolt. When we first hear of the firebolt, when Harry first gets on the firebolt, he's going so fast, everything turns into a blur.
Yeah.
Right? So fast. So he has the fastest accelerating broom in the world. But yet, when he played Ravenclaw, Cho was able to get in front of him, slow him down. So Malfoy is tailing Harry. He sees the snitch, and he goes to book it. which means that Malfoy had to accelerate faster than Harry to grab on to the back of his broom. Makes no sense.
Well, either that or Harry wasn't at full speed yet. But I do remember hearing that he was telling the broom faster, faster, faster. And I'm thinking 150 miles? And you want it to go faster?
You want it to go faster?
I think that's plenty fast, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, just the fact that he has the fastest broomstick in the world and two other seekers were able to cut him off or slow him down. You're like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Cho, it makes sense because she's got the skills, right? She's got the skills.
She's got the skills
strategy.
and yeah.
But Draco's got, I mean, he's been flying a broom all his life, but he's terrible at Quidditch.
Yeah, so anyway, Malfoy is grabbing onto the broom, slowing it down, which earns Gryffindor another penalty.
Yeah.
They missed. They're still up 60.
Which I was surprised that Madam Hooch called a foul on that. I don't know why I was surprised, but I was.
Yeah. I mean, I can see, but it didn't.
I
could see
no
it.
Harm, no foul,
yeah.
really. I mean, that's the goal. You're trying to prevent each other from getting the snitch. I mean,
yeah. I guess there's not allowed to touch the other players or their brooms. I guess is a rule.
It's crazy because when you think about it, you would think the Seekers would get pretty intense with each other.
Yeah. And I thought about this. So it's never really brought up, but we do see in Harry's 5th year or 6th year, 5th year. Cormac McLagan. You remember him?
Yeah.
He plays, and he's keeper for a minute, and he goes out and he grabs one of his team's beaters bats to show them what they're doing. So I know we have yeah. So I know we have dedicated positions. You've got keeper, you've got 3 chasers, 2 beaters, and then you've got the seeker. Can anybody catch the snitch? Right? Can Fred, if Fred gets the quaffle, can he? Because let's say football, right? Soccer is kind of the most equivalent thing that they're talking about. A keeper can score a goal.
Yeah.
Right? Defenders can slide up to attack. But we never have any instances so I was going to look it up. I'm sure it's on Harry Potter Wiki. Can anybody catch the snake, or does it have to be?
Look it up right now. Just look it up. Because I would think that the only guess I have, man, if it's right next to you, and you're the goalie,
oh,
this
is a commonly
keeper.
No,
couldn't you just reach out and grab it
in Quidditch? See, that's my thing. If it's flying right past you, can you just boom?
But then at the same time, you also don't have the skills to be able to catch the snip. But if it's right next to you,
so in Quidditch, only the designated seeker on each team is allowed to catch the snitch. If any other player touches it, it's a foul called a snitch snip, which can result in penalties or even disqualification, making the seeker the only player with the right to capture it and end the game.
Jeez.
There we go.
Wow.
Committing a snitch snip can lead to penalties and in some instances disqualification.
Is it canon? Do you believe it?
Let's see. I don't know. I mean, several Harry Potter Wiki. Harry Potter Wiki.
That's
the Quidditch rule states that only the 2 team seekers have the right to catch or touch the snitch.
That's crazy.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Hold on. So now I want to know, in Quidditch, can anyone score a goal? In Quidditch, chasers are the primary players who score goals by throwing the quaffle through the hoops, earning 10 points, but it is generally understood that any player can handle the quaffle and score if they get possession, though it's rare for other positions, keepers, beaters, or seekers, to do so, while only the seeker can catch the snitch. Here we go. I mean, welcome. Welcome. The more you know.
This is why we're here.
This is why we're here. This is why we're here.
Yeah, go down the rabbit hole.
That's right. We love Quidditch. So like we said, foul called on Draco for holding on to Harry's broom. Gryffindor gets a penalty. They miss. Still up 60. But then Slytherin scores. Now they're only up 50. So then Angelina, whom we love, she's got the quaffle and she's zooming, right? And then the entire Slytherin team, except for the keeper and Malfoy, are coming at her all at once. So
and
Harry's
that makes sense. But, I mean...
Well, that's the thing. I think their battle plan was just to play dirty.
Yeah.
Like, because obviously that's a terrible battle plan, because if Angelina really saw that, that means she's got 2 chasers and 2 beaters open. True. Throw the quaffle. Yeah. You know, so it's a bad thing. So anyway,
it's a good intimidation.
Great intimidation. Tactic, yeah. So they are all going at Angelina. So Harry gets as close as he can to his broom, and he flies right into the Slytherins. They all get scared and they separate, which means that Angelina is now left alone. She scores another goal. Gryffindor is now up 60 points, 80-20. But then Harry's heart dropped. He looked over. Malfoy was diving, is what the book says. A look of triumph on his face. There, a few feet above the grass below, was a tiny golden glimmer. Harry urged the firebolt downward, but Malfoy was miles ahead. Go, go, go! Harry urged his broom. He was gaining on Malfoy. Harry flattened himself to the broom handle as Bull sent a bludger at him. He was at Malfoy's ankles. He was level. Harry threw himself forward. Taking both hands off his broom, he knocked Malfoy's arm out of the way and, chapter notable number 7, yes! He pulled out of his dive, his hand in the air, and the stadium exploded. Harry soared above the crowd, an odd ringing in his ears. The tiny golden ball was held tight in his fist, beating its wings hopelessly against his fingers.
That's so great.
It's so good. Like, it's so good. She does such a good job of hyping up the match.
Yeah.
Giving us this vision of this brute squad versus...
She did a real good job writing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the culmination to end it, to win it, and then you have to just read the end of the chapter. It's just...
even good. Draco with like the look of triumph on his face, like he's being cocky, and it's just disaster, right? Like overconfident. Oh, I'm gonna get there he is. No, it's great. The only downside, and I can get into it more, is she hyped it up real good. She wrote it real good. I wish Quidditch would have been talked about more, because then it would have been more of a big deal. Right? Would have been more of a big deal.
Yes.
With everything going on. Because, we'll get into it in a little bit, but it's just great. It's great. So the end of the chapter is too good not to read. Then Wood was speeding toward him, half blinded by tears. He seized Harry around the neck and sobbed unrestrainedly into his shoulder. Harry felt 2 large thumps as Fred and George hit them. Angelina, Alicia, and Katie's voices were there. "We've won the cup! We've won the cup!" Tangled together in many armed hugs, the Gryffindor team sank, yelling hoarsely, back to earth. Wave upon wave of crimson supporters were pouring over the barriers onto the field. Hands were raining down on their backs. Harry had a confused impression of noise and bodies pressing in on him. Then he and the rest of the team were hoisted into the shoulders of the crowd. Thrust into the light, he saw Hagrid, plastered with crimson rosettes. "You beat him, Harry! You beat him! Wait until I tell Buckbeak!"
Oh, so good. So good. So Jim Dale would be proud.
Well, and this right here, there was Percy jumping up and down like a maniac, all dignity forgotten. It's great. Professor McGonagall was sobbing even harder than Wood, wiping her eyes with an enormous Gryffindor flag. And there, fighting their way toward Harry, were Ron and Hermione. Words failed them. They simply beamed as Harry was borne towards the stands, where Dumbledore stood waiting with the enormous Quidditch cup. If only there had been a Dementor around. Yeah. As a sobbing Wood passed Harry the cup, as he lifted into the air, Harry felt he could have produced the world's best Patronus. So, like I said, two things. I wish Quidditch would have been made a bigger deal. It's implied as a big deal, but the little amount it gets talked about when it does get brought up makes you almost feel like, what are we doing? We're kind of straying away from the story, right? And my other thing is, you would have thought they would have had some sort of ceremony for the cup. I think this is as much as we get. Dumbledore hands him the cup, which is a great thing, but nothing in, the the word I'm thinking of, where they all eat.
A feast.
No. With the place, the Great Hall. Yeah, no. No ceremony in the Great Hall. No great big, celebration in front of the whole school about this. But still great. They got handed the Quidditch Cup immediately, which is great. Just seemed a little lackluster to do that, though. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too far.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it because, in any sporting event, the Super Bowl, NBA Finals, NCAA
I don't watch
Championship.
Sports, so
yeah. So if you watch the Super Bowl, they give them the trophy right after the game.
Okay, so
they put on the hats, they put on the T-shirts. March Madness is one of the greatest. The two final teams play last, and they give the award right there. It's they do it in the heat of the moment, and now they'll do parades and stuff a few days later, and they'll have speeches and ceremonies and stuff in their cities and stuff like that. But yeah, it makes sense, during all the hype and stuff. One of the things about this, you kind of forget this is Percy's last year at Hogwarts as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's head boy, right?
Yeah, you're only a head boy in your 7th year, right?
You're only head boy in your 7th year because he was prefect. Yeah, you can be a prefect years 5 and 6. Yeah, you can be. Yeah, you can be prefects years 5 and 6, head boy year 7. So it's So this is a big deal to Percy as well, and I don't think that gets enough attention. But him jumping around like a lunatic,
I love this.
I love it.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
such a great chapter. Such a Hermione chapter, like a low key Hermione chapter, and then with the Quidditch, the culmination of the victory, and love it.
Yeah, it's nice to see Hermione being a little bit more involved, because there's not much about Hermione in this book so far, because she's been, so enthralled with the classes and everything. Yeah. And another thing to point out,
and they've been separated because of Scabbers and Crookshanks, right? So Harry and Ron, we get a lot of them because they're not really hanging out with Hermione.
Yeah. Well, it gets better and better from here. Like you would think, okay, we're kind of wrapping up this book right here, but no, there's still a lot more.
Yes, there's some great. To me, the good stuff hasn't even started.
Right. Yeah.
Right. We are getting a taste of it. We're building up to it, but the next chapter, gets good. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the next chapter and beyond.
Yes. So thank you for joining us, everybody. If you made it till the end, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching, listening. Hey, man, if we're not on a platform that you prefer us to be on, write into us. Let us know. I think we're everywhere you can find your podcast, but maybe we're not. Who knows? But you got to share this with, I forgot. Who are they supposed to share this with? Andrew?
All of your Potter friends.
Yes. And join us next time where we cover Chapter 16, Professor Trelawney's prediction. Andrew, go ahead and get us out of here.
I thought this would be a good quote. It's not our first episode of 2026, but because it's 2026, I thought we would throw back to year one with Hagrid talking to Harry.
It is our more or less a 1-year anniversary, so.
Yeah, more or less a 1-year anniversary, yeah. So before Harry even gets to Hogwarts, Hagrid looks at him and he goes, "Don't you worry, Harry. You'll learn fast enough. Everyone starts at the beginning at Hogwarts. You'll be just fine. Just be yourself." Squib's Corner is hosted by Jeremiah Lobaugh and co-hosted by Andrew Beecham, myself. We would love to hear from you, so drop us a rate and review. To inquire about being a guest, or if you have questions, comments, or just want to give us your Harry Potter story, email us at squibscorner@gmail.com. To watch Harry Potter merch unboxings, follow Jeremiah's YouTube, Accio Potter Guy. Lastly, you can leave us a voice memo and follow us on Instagram at Squibs Corner Podcast.